Roll up! The carnival is coming to town.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Beyond the Canvas in association with Wrestle Carnival. I'm Kurt, and today got a special guest. He is the lead marketing and patron with WrestleCares, a fantastic charity that's actually based from my hometown Hull as well, doing incredible things, and they've just partnered with Wrestle Carnival. Dan French. Dan, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, great to come on the show.
Really excited. Like when Gary messaged saying, "Hey Kurt, like, can you do some interviews for me?" and like he set up the group chat. I was like, I already know, Dan. Like, this is going to be good. We've been chatting quite a bit, and I've been able to follow what you've been doing with Wrestle Cares. Like, you've been doing some incredible things.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
But I think we'll leave that to the end. Like, obviously, for you to be working, and well, not even work, it's everything's volunteering with children's charity around wrestling and merchandise and DVDs and stuff like that. Obviously, you've got a passion for wrestling. Like, when did that first start?
It first started when I was 10 years old, and I was in year 5, and then I saw these kids with wrestling cards, and I was just absolutely blown away by their attires and like the championship belts and stuff. And I just knew from that day I wanted to see what it was like. And then when I got home, I asked my dad to get me the Royal Rumble 2008, and I just remember watching Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton for the WWE title, and it was just like I was just hooked from there. And then obviously I got the added bonus of the Royal Rumble, and it was just magical to see it all play out.
Oh, class! Like, who was the favorite? Like, you mentioned Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton. Like, who was it that you gravitated towards at the beginning?
It was always Jeff Hardy, because it was more of a free spirit kind of person, and I liked the idea of dyeing my hair rainbow colours and wearing like jeans, and I had the Jeff Hardy armbands growing up, and I think I still got some around here somewhere. But I just because I was that young, I just idolised Jeff as a role model, and that's always what I wanted. It's like that role model that I could look up to, and like I was very interested in like anime, as we discussed earlier. And you can't look up to a cartoon character like you can look up to a WWE superstar. So with all my friends going towards superheroes, mine was more looking at wrestlers as superheroes and how they could dive around the ring, and like it looked like they're not getting hurt.
Yeah,
and, like it's an incredible I say sport. It's very incredible artwork to watch it go ahead and then to adopt the storylines and adopt it into your real life situations. It's crazy how it all links together.
No, definitely. Like, have you stuck with wrestling all the way through? Like, I know some people kind of jump out a little bit. Have you stuck it all the way?
Yeah, I've stuck it all the way. Yeah, I found a lot from wrestling, to be honest. Like, there's also wrestling, and then watching wrestling also developed my music taste. Started listening to heavier bands, and then going to gigs, and yeah, I was always real grateful to wrestling to give me that passion growing up. So I've never hated against WWE. I love the idea of AEW. I like the concept. I like the brand warfare. I like all that. I'm more of the people who enjoys the wrestling than hates on this new company's coming to take over another company. Like I just want to sit down and watch the good wrestling and then like carry on my life.
Yeah, social media really do to get worked up. Obviously, with the recent AEW news with Sting debuting and partnering with Impact Wrestling, they're like 2 companies getting together to take down the big company. No, but you don't want a company to be taken down because again, all those childhood memories, and wrestling wouldn't be the same without WWE. They're a huge corporation and reach markets that no other company does, and I guess kind of reaches markets and does work similar to what WrestleCares strives for. They do a lot of charitable work with children, giving them wrestling to uplift them and stuff like that. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm a very big fan of the Be a Star Foundation and Connor's Cure and everything that links with WWE. I really enjoy seeing the documentaries and stuff about it. It's incredible how much they care, as well as people think they don't care.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy with WrestleCares. Like, obviously, it was just a passion to get into wrestling, and then a passion to get into charity work. So it was a combination that just suited me down to the ground.
Fantastic. So, who is your favourite wrestlers at the moment? Who are you enjoying to watch the most?
I'm loving Roman Reigns at the minute. I'm loving his storyline with Jey Uso and Kevin Owens. I'm a big Kevin Owens fan. I was a fan when it was Kevin Steen in Ring of Honor with Generico and who else? I still obviously love Jeff Hardy from like every now and again. I don't really know. I'm a real fan of like the people that people don't like. I like Dolph Ziggler. I think he's a great workhorse. The Miz, love the Miz, love the characters.
He's arguably my favourite wrestler at the moment. Like, he has been for years. I know we were speaking before, like we were recording, and you said your missus was like, I want to watch wrestling and stuff like that. Although my fiance don't really understand wrestling, but I was like, I kept showing her clips of Miz and Mrs. And she started chuckling. And I was like, great, I love Miz. So I was like, right, we're going to watch it. So we started watching like season 1, and she actually enjoyed it. She was asking when season 2 is, and obviously wrestling incorporated with that. But it just shows how good of a character he is. The fact that he can reach out to those, not even casual fans, but those that aren't really interested in wrestling. He's just such a entertainer.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like I've always been a fan of the Miz. I didn't like him at first, obviously, because it's the reality TV style of Miz with WWE, but he really proved himself as like that main heel to get over. And then when he won the WWE title, it just elevated him to the top, which was great. And then he beat Cena at WrestleMania, all leading up to like his rivalry with Daniel Bryan. I watched the WWE timeline with the Daniel Bryan the Miz feud the other week, and kind of just blew me away out. All just linked up, and then their talking smack segment.
Incredible.
It was absolutely incredible. The promo work of the Miz just outshines. Even if he's like a safe wrestler, which I like about him, he's a safe wrestler. He doesn't need that wrestling ability to make himself the best, like a good heel.
Yeah.
He's already that good of a heel with his mouth. So
exactly.
He doesn't need anything else. Like MJF. Like MJF could be like the worst wrestler in the world, but he can talk a big game.
Yeah.
Same with Eddie Kingston. I'm a huge fan of Eddie Kingston at the minute. His promos like on social media and being the elite has just been just out of this world. But like with in regards to my partner Laura, she started watching wrestling, and she like just watching her develop the same characteristics I did watching it. So she at the minute she hated the Miz, and then like before 2011 she hated CM Punk, and then Summer Punk came along and she loved CM Punk, and it's just like it's probably like a mirror effect of how like you really look at the person instead of the superstar, and you think, well, they've really dedicated their life to their craft. Yeah. Same with like Bray Wyatt and how he's gone from Husky Harris to the Fiend. Like
incredible transition.
Oh, incredible transition! It's like life-changing, career-changing transition.
Yeah,
and that's what you look out for. That's what you've got to keep track of.
Have you looked much into like the British wrestling scene?
Not incredibly. I've tried to keep up with as much as possible. I'm quite. I say it like that. But I'm quite busy at the minute. Like I've got like WrestleCares. I'm a uni student and I work as well. I've got a lot on my plate, so I try to keep up to date with British wrestling, and I did follow it a couple of years ago. So I do. I did watch like BWR, Progress, NGW, etc. But I never really grasped as much as possible. I barely even watch AEW anymore because I don't have time. But NXT is my main focus. NXT UK I really enjoy. But I'm really excited to work at Wrestle Carnival because it's just a different concept of wrestling than no one's targeted yet, and it's crazy how it can all connect of wrestling and the carnival. Like I'm very excited to work with Gary and to everyone involved.
Yeah, definitely. Like what Gary's trying to do with Wrestle Carnival is fantastic, and I think having people like yourself on board as well is what needs to happen. He's doing everything right, and obviously he did another venture before, and he ended up booking arguably my favourite match I've ever seen in British wrestling, and it was like Rampage Brown was facing Shuji Ishikawa, he was facing Joe Doran, as they come over from All Japan, and those matches were just like incredible. So I'm excited to see like what he does with Wrestle Carnival. Like as a fan, I'm excited to see it, and then doing these interviews, I'm excited to be able to keep producing content for Wrestle Carnival as well. So I want to talk about like obviously WrestleCares. That's the main reason we're here today. So how did the whole concept come about?
Well, I can't speak in general for Andy and Ash, who are the founders of WrestleCares. I joined in February, so what I believe was they all just had that same passion of putting of obviously they all liked wrestling and they all loved wrestling and they wanted to give back in whatever way they could. So they developed this non-profit idea, WrestleCares, which came about in December last year. It's coming up to our anniversary in a few days, and then when they started advertising at local events, so they came to Tribal when they had the Royal Rumble, and I was in attendance there. And when they passed me a business card saying, "Oh, here's WrestleCares, I hope you check it out." And it got like promoted by Lucas Steele, who was the quiz master that night. Yeah. And I got into contact with Andy and Ash. Those like the really nice guys, real hospitable, real nice. And they just asked me to come on board and give whatever ideas I could, because I had the idea of opening Hull University's wrestling committee, but it's a lot harder than you think to open up a committee when you don't know how many people like wrestling. When you've got to have certain people, but like I say, the idea just came about of everyone just having the same respect for wrestling and for caring, and then how they could use it to link wrestling and charity work and just pass on all the experiences that we had as children to other children. And
so when you mention like pass on like your childhood to other children and things like that, why do you think that's important? Why do you think having something like wrestling in your life at such a young age is important to the children?
Like in reference to me, when I was growing up, obviously I wanted that role model in my life, and I know we work with a lot of children in care, so it's arguable that they may not have that sort of role model to look up to, and it's always better to see something in real life than it is to see in a cartoon. From my perspective anyway, I think it's really important that children get to know wrestling for because it's so well developed and so incredibly connecting with everything else in life, especially since it's very like with in regards to like the promo work and the storylines, it's all can be very well built, and then you can learn to love characters, and then it shows you to be who you want to be, and then like do whatever you can do in life. So if you want to be the Undertaker, you be the Undertaker. If you want to be a charismatic enigma, you be Jeff Hardy. Yeah. I think it's really, really important that all children can find that love of wrestling that I found as a child, because it really helped me with my mental health as growing up as a kid, and it brings together a huge community as you get older. I didn't have any wrestling fan friends. I had like one or two growing up, so it's very rare I could talk. But as I got older, it's you realise there's a huge community of people out there who just have a passion for wrestling, and then you get involved, and then it's just incredible. So I think developing it at a young age, so you've got the reference as you grow up, and then you know as much as you can. I think you'll have a good talking point as you grow up, and I think it's something that's really, really passionate to know.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned like the mental health side of things. I think it's the case with a lot of them. With wrestling, it's an escapism. Like it's just such a good way to be drawn out and like head first into something else. And hopefully, like, have you come across anybody that wasn't a wrestling fan, and through WrestleCares you've made a fan out of them?
Well, obviously my partner, she's like she hated the idea of it. She didn't understand what it was, but once you kind of refer it to like a soap opera, with body slams and with punches and stuff, you get to it's really interesting. We've made quite a few wrestling fans actually, but obviously with lockdown being in position, we haven't been able to get out to meet people to try and spread our message as much as possible. So we had plans to go to a lot of events and meet people face to face, which was a bit upsetting when we got to it. We've really made the most of lockdown, to be honest, with what we've done. Like we've we've tripled our likes on Facebook, and we've interacted with so many charities, so many amazing people. I wouldn't say we've changed many as of yet. I think once Christmas comes along and the children open a nice big box of wrestling merchandise, we could have a few different fans and a few diverse fans. But at the minute, once we get involved with Wrestle Carnival and we start creating activities and events at their events, then I reckon we can create a much larger fan base for us and for wrestling.
Yeah, definitely. Like, what's the reception been like from people that may work in like the children homes and things like that? Like the staff, what have their reception been like of you promoting wrestling and doing this massive 2020 like Christmas appeal?
Been really good, actually. Both charities that we work with, the Hull and East Yorkshire Children's University and the Special Stars Foundation, have both been very helpful. We've kept them updated as much as possible. We know that some aspects of wrestling can be a bit daunting for children, and some of it can be a bit misleading. With some children in care, they have a lot of they'll have some issues with with separation, and they'll have issues with with abuse. So sometimes it's hard to get into that kind of market.
Yeah.
So some of our products some of the donations we've had sent in, we've had to like put aside because they can't be delivered to, because they might come off differently. Like some divas may come off, or some women may come off as more sexy than as athletes, which is not the message we're trying to provide. We're trying to provide that to a young girl to look up to a superstar like Alexa Bliss or Sasha Banks. Can look up to them and think, wow, like they are amazing, they're doing amazing things. But honestly, the reception has been incredible. Like, everybody knows John Cena, everybody knows The Rock, everyone knows what wrestling is. It's just having to crack into that kind of person who can think, do you know what, it sounds like a good idea.
Well, speaking of John Cena, there's a video that you'd shared of him putting you guys over, really. How did that come about?
Well, one of our supporters, Ross, he spoke to us. He got involved. He sent us a huge donation, like incredible. Like, this guy is like size 11, 12 feet, and the shoeboxes he sent were like huge. So he sent loads of stuff for us, which we are extremely grateful for. And obviously John Cena was promoting his elbow grease book, with shout outs, and Ross bought one and then sent John Cena all our information and said, "Oh, can you give a shout out to WrestleCares?" And then when we finally got the video, it was just absolutely mind blowing, like incredibly mind blowing. We didn't expect it. We've had like endorsements from, like, through cameos and stuff like that from Dominic Dijakovic, Christopher Daniels, but like Dominic Dijakovic and T-Bar, and then John Cena's like up here. So it's good to have that household name that people can scroll onto our page and think, oh, John Cena's been on like advertising this, I should give it a like. And like, we're so grateful for the support we've had from it. Crazy.
Yeah, definitely. So how can people support this Christmas appeal? And we don't have time to support the Christmas appeal. How can they support WrestleCares moving forward?
So we've completed our Christmas drive, so we're not accepting donations at the moment. We did go through a whole donation isolation progress that I put into place for a 2-week isolation, and then an anti-clean of all the products. So everything was cleaned, everything's ready to go. But if we take them now, it'd be too close to Christmas, and then the charity's closed too early. So we want to keep this Christmas as safe as possible. So unfortunately, as we're not taking donations as of yet, next year we've got a few cool ideas that will be put into place as the year goes on. The main thing that we can ask from people is just to like our page, interact with us. We're not scary people, we're nice people. We want to get involved as much as possible with the wrestling community and the non-wrestling community to try and help people see what we see in wrestling, and instead of the grown men jumping around with each other, they can see the stories and they can see the extravagant everything of wrestling that we see. So yeah, like I say, just like our page, share our posts, message us, get in touch. We'd love to hear your story. We'd love to tell you our message and share the love that we have for wrestling.
Yeah, like, so much respect for you guys for what you're doing. It has been incredible to see just how much you've been getting as well has been crazy. And the fact, again, you're a volunteer, you do this for free, which I think has to be applauded. Not many people go out the way to do charity work, or if they do, they don't do it to the extent of what you're doing, where essentially it's your main thing.
Yeah.
Doing university, but WrestleCares is taking a lot of your time. So, like, so much respect for that, and hopefully it can keep on growing and growing and growing. And I think yourself as like the marketing lead, you've done such a good job. I think in growing that further audience rather than just keeping it more local. I think it's been great to keep growing and growing and growing. And you have people like John Cena doing shout outs now. And
it's honestly, it's crazy the support we've had, like from a national perspective. Like we've had donations sent in from Scotland, and we've had donations sent in from down south, which is incredible, incredible to see. And when it got to about September time, we had a lot of we rebranded in August, where we got the orange logo, and then in September we didn't have much to go off. So it was basically me, Andy, and Ash purchasing all these products from our own pockets.
Yeah.
And we'd invested so much money and so much time into putting stuff together just to make sure we can fulfill our 20 shoebox commitment to those charities.
Yeah.
And then once the EWC Elite Wrestling community on Facebook got involved, they shared it, and then we got we got so many donations from them, and then obviously it was like a domino effect. So once they heard about it, and then Morrison's in Beverly heard about it from Halsey, so they set up a trolley for us, and then WrestleBox heard all about it, and then obviously we've come to the point where Wrestle Carnival's heard about it, and I've got in touch with Gary personally, because I did when I got in touch a few months ago with Gary about this kind of thing. We didn't have much to go off from there, but now I feel we've really built ourselves and structured ourselves enough to be able to attend shows and be able to do as much as we can as possible, especially going to Wrestle Carnival will be just an experience like no other anyway. So with having us there and having to get to promote our product and promote donations would be incredible.
So what are you hoping to succeed from being at these shows then? Like you mentioned, you'd put on events. Is it to try and collect more donations, or you got some other ideas?
We've got some cool ideas in the works. We're going to present them to Gary in the next couple of weeks when we've sorted them all out. What we're planning is just because our target base is younger children.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because our social media is obviously 13 and above market kind of area, it's hard to get in touch with the children. So our main focus is the parents of the children. So their parents have got to say, oh, this is a good cause, and then talk to the child about it, which has happened a few times. It's caused a few donations. So with in regards to Wrestle Carnival, what we're going to do is we're going to try and set up tables out there to do like colouring events, a donation drive where you bring a toy to an event and donate it to us. And we're going to try and we've got so many more ideas. We're not going to give away all our ideas as of yet. We want to have a few surprises, and then we're going to try and get a title belt made, so people are going to hold the WrestleCares title belt. And we've got a teddy bear mascot, which we want to get involved as well. Trying to convince Ash at the minute to dress up as a teddy bear, but it's not working out very well.
Do it. It's not that bad. Like, I always remember when I worked with Full City, I had to dress up as Rory the Tiger a couple of times. One, because I leaked the transfer. I'd seen him outside the stadium and the fan took over, and I took a picture, posted it on social media. Turns out it wasn't confirmed yet. And then for punishment, I had to go be Rory the Tiger in St. Stephen's for the full day.
Brilliant.
So if I can do that, Ash, you can dress up as the WrestleCares bear.
Well, if you're heading to Wrestle Carnival, we'll bring a teddy bear suit along with us.
Fantastic. So, where can people find you on social media?
Sorry, what was that? My mic got on.
Sorry, where can people find you on social media?
If you go onto facebook.co.uk, facebook.com/WrestleCares, you'll find us on there. At Cares Wrestle on Twitter. Or you can, if you go through that, you can find all of us personally through WrestleCares. We're very open about what we're doing and what we're trying to do. We're not trying to. There's no gloating or anything involved. Like we're getting involved to spread wrestling as much as we can. It's not for personal gain; it's for the gain of children and for people around the community.
Yeah, fantastic. So everybody, make sure you do go check out WrestleCares. Try and support them wherever you can. And at future Wrestle Carnival shows, make sure you bring one of those toys. Like even if WrestleCares aren't at that event, we can try and keep it, and then they're there for the next time if you can't make that show. But yeah, Dan, keep up the incredible work that yourself and the team are doing.
We will, definitely.
You've done fantastic stuff. So hopefully, I can't wait to see what results this year provides. It'll be great to see, and it'll be a lot of wholesome, nice content to see from such a terrible year where it's been a struggle for everybody. I think yourselves are going to be that little bit of light at the end of the year for people. So again, congrats on that, and
fingers crossed. Yeah,
look forward to an even bigger 2021 for you.
Fantastic. We're gonna before we part ways. I just want to I'd just like to say thank you to all of our amazing donors that have got in touch with us and sent donations in and support us. Obviously we've been endorsed by a few people like Morrison's. We've been endorsed by WrestleBox, Give Me a Whole Year Wrestling Podcast, the Rose Shine cleaning contractor who designed our new shirts. I want to say thank you to everybody because I rarely get a chance to do that. I will be on the radio next week with Wolfie on Hull Kingston Radio, which is a local radio station you can find online. And there is there's a BBC Humberside recording of myself on BBC Humberside Radio. So go check out the social media, and thank you for having me on.
Nah, incredible. Everybody, make sure you do go check that out. Again, make sure you can check out WrestleCares and support them where you're going forward. If you've enjoyed this, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit subscribe so we can continue to bring you not only Beyond the Canvas content, but Wrestle Carnival content here on YouTube. As you can see with the Catch t-shirt, make sure you go over to Graps Apparel to have a look at the amazing wrestling apparel range that's there, which has been seen by and worn by people all over the wrestling business, from Impact Wrestling, AEW, like we mentioned with Eddie Kingston. He was rocking out the Gaijin Worldwide stuff as well. So make sure you head over to the merch stand and have a look at the Gaijin Worldwide. Hit like, hit subscribe, go follow WrestleCares, go support Dan where you can. I've been Johansson. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.